Hello traders, just as we thought, the markets kind of went sideways today. Let's take a look at things. Here we are, the market just ended, so these numbers may not be exactly what you're going to see on the evening news. They're still going to jump around a little bit. But anyway, we did have a down day, 106 points on the Dow, down 1%, almost 3% on the NASDAQ, S&P down 1.5%, and the Russell's is the big drop, 3%. VIX up almost 3%, but check this out. We are still below 50. I was keeping my eye on that 50 number today on the VIX. That was good to see. So let's zoom in just a smidgen here. We said yesterday that on the video that we would either stay between these two lines probably, or we would go up. Well, we stayed between these two lines. Here we are. We do have a hammer type formation, however technically it is not a hammer because the lower shadow is not 2 times or more of the body, so it's hard to call this a hammer. But nonetheless, it has that type of formation which gives it a bullish bias, if you will. So what happened was we opened right here at resistance, which is our green line, and we come crashing down, crashing down, crashing down. Very impressive red candle, down here. We stopped around 812 on the S&P and come rallying back, late in the day, and then we close right here. So what do we expect? Well, nothing different. Either we're going to chop around sideways for a little bit. Actually, that would be more bearish and bullish if we continue a sideways motion, because if we did, this would be called a low base, a low or a down leg base sideways. Low base formations, go to chart school there at freetradingvideos.com. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So if we do develop this, we have a better chance of testing these lows down here at 800, 775, and 750. And some of you guys asked that I lighten up on my trend lines to make the charts a little clear to see. I can so appreciate that. However, a lot of these lines are pretty important to me, so what I did was I just lightened them up a little bit, make them not so dominant, and so they don't stand out quite as much. Now, the thing that I want you to pay attention to is the trend lines that I have going down, kind of group those together. A lot of times I'll color code them, like the two oranges here. Typically I'd make this one orange too, but this is one that it's in play right now, so I have this one green just to stand out a little bit, because you can see for 2 days it's been acting as resistance. And these coming up are all blue, and if they're all going up, tend to look at them in a group. So in my mind, I have 3 groups of trend lines here. I have the ones going up, I have these going down, and then these red ones going horizontal. I tend to color code them, just to keep them straight for the viewers. So anyway, I want to look at a couple individual stocks. Let's look at Apple. Apple had a nice pop today, and I just want to look at it technically speaking. Let's get a couple trend lines drawn here. I go to the last 2 swings, and I'm going to drop a line just like that, and then I'm going to go here to here. So technically we're still in a downtrend because we have a lower swing high and a lower swing low, and I'm going to dress this one up just a smidgen. Yeah, I'm pretty anal when it comes to how I draw my trend lines, and I tend to be a little different than most people. I have a reason why I cut off certain candlesticks, and but I do see that as being resistance. Resistance is right there. And zooming in just a hair on Apple, the following 50-day moving average did act as resistance, but what's nice here is we stayed above the 20-day rising moving day average. We can see us rolling over right here, and but we have a major area here. If we get up about right there, it needs to get up past 91.50. If he can get up if he can close over 92.50 or so, that would be good. But we have this swing to take care of. This one, it has some resistance to get through. And let's look at volume. That's important. I do like the 2 updates here. We have an increase in volume coming into the market, so that's really nice. And let's look at a couple things. We have 100 obviously is going to act as resistance, the century mark. But you're going to have a lot of people wanting to short this thing. When it hits its head right here at 91, you're going to short. People are going to want to short this just because we are at a resistance point here. And I'm going to drop another trend line. Yeah, perfectly. Look how that trend line right here acts as just perfect resistance. See that? And when I drew this trend line, I was just drawing it from these two locations. This swing high to this swing high, and boom, perfect resistance. So there's resistance, and then here's going to be resistance. And you're going to have the bears coming in to want to sell this dude short right there, hoping for another leg down just like we have here and here. Let's look at REM. Looks like I already have some lines drawn on this one. We did have an upper wedge formation. You can see that here, but it didn't come through. It didn't pan out, and but it busted it right there. Busted and stayed above it. Now that line that was acting as resistance is now acting as support. I would probably get rid of that line now. I'd keep this one. I would probably drop this line just a smidgen. I like that line a lot better. So if we did crash through, that would be a support area. But we have some major resistance coming up here. You can see from a swing low here, a swing high here. And so we do have some resistance. But I could still see this one starting to climb a little bit. Let's take a view of, well, look how we have a decline in volume here. So that's telling me we're slowing down on the buy side. So we could see a pullback any moment. So keep an eye on that. So there you have it, looking at Apple and REM and the broad markets as a whole. And I'm still looking for upside movement on the S&P because we have a lot. We had a nice pullback. We're due for a run up now, and we have plenty of support under us. So I'm still waiting for that. And if it happens, I want to see a big run with big volume confirming the run that we have here. I want big candlesticks, large white candlesticks stepping up here. If we don't, we just hem haul around. That's not going to be nearly as impressive. And as what Breakout was saying, we do have a lot of overhead resistance we need to clear out. If we get over this 950 especially, I mean, we're going to be at 1,000, 1,100 pretty easy. So there you have it. Until next time, we'll catch you at freetradingvideos.com.